Hi, my name is Amanda Bordelon-Ross, and I will be presenting on the process of petroleum engineering distillation. What is crude oil and what is its purpose? Crude oil is also known as unrefined petroleum. That's what it looks like. It's very dark, very oily. Composed of hydrocarbon deposits. It is a type of fossil fuel, and it can be refined to produce usable petrochemicals such as gasoline, like for our cars, and diesel fuel, like for larger vehicles like the 18-wheelers and airplanes. Crude oil refineries. Crude oil refineries, it's a group of industrial facilities that turn crude oil and other inputs into petroleum products. So basically, we're talking about the refineries that are around our area. So we're very familiar with what a refinery is. You can see them. I know I see them every day from my drive to work to Port Arthur from Orange. They're all over the place. You can see them as far as P&G High School. So we have a number of these facilities in our area. They produce a number of different things. We have Total, we have the Exxon, we have TPC, well, had TPC, and a number of other places. Refinery capacity. This refers to the maximum amount of crude oil designed to flow into the distillation unit of the refinery. So basically, each refinery has a capacity that they have to meet. And then it's also referred to as a crude unit. The process of distillation is crude oil is heated and then it is fed into a distillation column. After that, the temperature starts to rise depending on the product that it is being turned into, and then the crude oil separates itself into different components called fractions. So there's different tubes that it goes into pertain to whatever is being reformed. And then the fractions are captured separately, and each fraction corresponds to a different type of petroleum product depending on the temperature. So the next slide is actually going to show you kind of an example of what a distillation unit does. So the crude oil distillation unit and products. So the top part is going to be your lighter products and lower boiling points. So like butane's going to be your lower one. So that's going to be around 85 degrees or lower. And then the next one is going to be 85 degrees and up, and so on. So the higher you go in temperature, the heavier the product is going to be. So like I said, butane is going to be lighter. The heaviest is residual fuel, and that's going to be over 1,000 degrees. The second process is known as cracking. Cracking is the heavier fractions are lower in value than some are lighter. So this process is where the molecules are broken apart for the product. And most are utilized to produce gasoline and jet fuel from the heavier gas oil. And this is kind of what the cracking process looks like. So there's different pipes that it has to go through depending on what is being produced. The third process is known as reforming, typically utilized on lower value light fractions, and it's also to produce more gasoline. It involves inducing chemical reactions under pressure, and this changes the composition of the hydrocarbon chain. And the final production of petroleum products differs from refinery to refinery. So each refinery around here, like I said earlier, produces different product. I know a lot of people that work for TPC, I know a lot of people that work for Total and Motiva, and each of those plants produces something different. I know TPC, I believe they created product like plastic, and then, all of the other refineries, they all have their different products that they create as well. So each refinery has their own specialty. Products that are created and distilled, these are the lighter products. Butane is going to be your first one. Like I said earlier, butane is actually used as a fuel or refrigerant. A lot of people, you'll see butane when you're out camping. And then liquefied petroleum gases, LPG, it's used to fuel and heating appliances, cooking equipment, and vehicles. And naphtha is used for paint thinner. So you will find that on a paint thinner bottle. The mid-range products recovered in a still are jet fuel, which is used to fuel the aircraft. like airplanes. Kerosene is a domestic heat. It's a domestic for heater lamps and cleaning solvent. But it is also an alternative fuel for aircraft. Distillates are used for home heating oil and diesel fuel for 18-wheelers and other larger vehicles. Heavier products recovered. So I said earlier residual fuel is one of the heavier products, and this is recovered at temperatures at times over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's really, really hot. So that is one of the heavier products. It's steam powered, and it's used to steam power vessels in government service and inshore power plants. Conclusion. So the simplest refineries usually stop at this point. They usually stop at residual fuel. That's the most that they produce. But most refineries in the U.S. reprocess the heavier fractions into lighter products to maximize the output of the most desirable products using the most sophisticated refinery equipment. So if there's other products that they need to make, there's other refineries that have more sophisticated refining equipment for these. But other than that, the majority of refineries are used to make the same things: plastic, gasoline, jet fuel. So a lot of these refineries around here are used for that process. I really hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little something about the distillation process for petroleum products, and thank you so much for watching.